We're here at AUSA 2018 and I'm speaking with Pat Williams, Vice President, General Manager, Defence Programmes, Oshkosh Defence. Pat, we're standing beside an example of FMTV A2. Oshkosh were awarded the US Army's contract for FMTV A2 recently. Could you tell us a little bit about the vehicle, please?
Absolutely. Well, the FMTV is it's really the workhorse of the Army's logistical fleet. It performs about over 55% of the Army's logistics missions, really focused on local haul, meaning getting material, munitions, and troops the last 30 miles to their location. So the FMTV is a big deal for the Army and their logistics. So the A2 vehicle that we're showing today is actually it's our winning bid for the program, and really the basis of the vehicle is taking the A1 P2 and adding incremental improvements to improve payload, survivability, ride quality, and mobility. Essentially using as much commonality as possible with the existing improved A1 platform while providing additional upgrades to meet the much higher requirements that the A2 requires.
And if we take an A1P2, which as I understand it, is sort of the current production standard of the cab-over FMTV, what are the main automotive driveline differences between that A1P2 and the A2 that's beside us?
Yeah, and what we really tried to do, again, is focus on commonality. So from a driveline perspective, we kept the proven CAT C7 engine. We just increased the horsepower up to 330 horsepower for the 4x4 or 370 horsepower for the 6x6. The biggest change we did make was to incorporate our TAC4 independent suspension in place of the rigid axles that were on the A1P2. The most noticeable change when you look at the truck is that we moved the front axle from underneath the cab to out in front of the cab. We did that for a number of reasons. First of all, to balance out the axle weights, which provides better soft soil mobility. Also, moving the front axle forward, it removed a lot of the mass from below the cab, which improves survivability by having a better standoff distance from any blast event. And it also improves ride quality. If you've ever been on a school bus in the back, how you bounce, by moving the axle in front of the cab, the axle is no longer under the crew driving, which improves the ride quality as well.
And based on the FMTV A1P2, the engine was within the cab, as it were. So what's under the hood of the vehicle beside us then?
What we did is, under the hood, we placed our cooling package, because with additional horsepower, you need additional cooling. So we moved the cooling system from below the cab to out in front, just as a better way to support the additional horsepower.
And remaining with the automotives, the original Allison transmission had an integral single speed transfer case. Have you stuck with that, or have you revised that setup?
We actually revised it and we decoupled the transfer case away from the transmission. So now it's an Oshkosh transfer case as opposed to what was on the A1P2.
And looking at the cab, to the naked eye, that actually looks like an A1P2 cab. Is that part of the program policy? It's an in-common cab?
The commonality with the cab is that it needed to be able to fit the existing B kit, which is already designed. So all the interfaces for the B kit needed to remain common. You could change the cab to some degree as long as it was common with the armor.
And moving away from FMTV, there have been some recent development in the HET area within Europe and within the States. Could you bring us up to date with those?
Yeah, there's some really big happenings with the HET program, mainly because of the weight growth of the Abrams tank. The Abrams SEP V3 tank is projected to be over 80 tons. So there are a couple different programs going on. One, an ONS-driven requirement for a near-term need to move up to an 85-ton payload in Europe. And the longer-term program is the HETs program that there's been an RFI out on the street, and actually an industry day here at AUSA. The desire is to get an HET system, a tractor and trailer, capable of pulling a 90-ton payload. And in that RFI, there are a list of different requirements that they would like to have in that HETs. And the RFI really asks, based on this payload and this document, what can you and can you not meet? It's really to inform the requirements.
And is there anything at all that you can say about the possible Oshkosh solutions to either of those requirements, or is it still company confidential?
At this point, it's really still company confidential. We are working on things. We believe the HET's an outstanding vehicle. We think we can do a lot of the workload that they're asking it to do. But really, until the requirements settle down through the RFI process, we really can't speak about our solution.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.